Hi guys, so I called Candace Owens out for her lack of transparency when she met privately with Erika Kirk, and some of you lost your mother-loving minds. It was like Mean Girls high school. Like some of the comments were just like so batshit.
Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
Maybe I'm just jumping the gun. After all, nobody even knows that there was a meeting because we didn't see anything. And that's the point. But if I'm being honest, I should have expected that, because this isn't my first rodeo. And I know for a fact that many of you will never get it through your heads that making idols out of people in power is exactly how we got into this mess to begin with. And then you wonder why you keep getting played. This is why. It's not rocket science. You guys create these idols and then you don't hold them accountable. Simple as that. The cult of personality. This is what has you supporting whoever tells you whatever you want to hear and then making excuses for them when they blatantly show you that they're full of shit. And they know this about you. They know this. They already have tried so many times and you've been tested and true. So they'll always use this against you because it's too easy. You fall for it every time. And look, I'm not above it. I'm not saying that I'm better. I'm not. I did it with Trump. The first time that he ran with all his brash and patriotism and his Make America Great Again and Drain the Swamp. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. And I believed it because I wanted to believe it. I wanted to believe that someone would come along to be in power and actually do right by us for a change. And then I saw through his lies at the end of his first term and I swore him off. He's just like everybody else. But when he ran the third time, I made excuses for him. He said, America first. And I thought, oh boy, here we go. This is it. They're in for it now. He's really going to drain the swamp now. America first. I know what that means, right? That's a dog whistle. And I talked myself into voting for him yet again, even though I already knew that he was full of it, because I wanted to believe. And I know that a lot of you did too. And how's that working out? The economy tanked. And the tariff, it didn't lower our deficit. In fact, the tariff dividends that he promised aren't even happening. The Epstein files? What Epstein files? According to Trump, they're a hoax.
As a rare rift divides MAGA world over the Jeffrey Epstein case, President Trump growing increasingly frustrated with some of his own supporters.
It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net.
And if you question him, then you're a weakling.
In a lengthy post on social media, disowning supporters he called weaklings for buying into what he terms BS.
Now, where have I heard that before?
Like 1 million people were suddenly wanting to say the same thing. She's sold out. Her energy is off. These are military bots.
So if I call Trump out, I'm a weakling. And if I call Owens out, then I'm a bot. See how that works? The DOJ illegally refused Friday's deadline to release the Epstein files. And instead, they released, I believe it's 50,000 heavily redacted documents and then said, oh, we'll get to the rest of it like in a few weeks. What? On top of that, the files that were released weren't available to the public by Saturday afternoon. So now Massey and Ro Khanna want to hold Bondi in contempt and fine her for every day that she doesn't release the documents. And I say, go get her. It's about time that someone holds her accountable. The irony here, of course, is that Trump signed the Epstein Files Transparency Act into law back in November, which created that deadline. So what the fuck are we doing? Trump promised to end the Ukraine war. That didn't happen, and we're still sending them billions. And Israel's multi-billion-dollar tap is still flowing quite nicely. And why wouldn't it be? Trump is a Zionist shill who's handed over U.S. sovereignty to Israel. I mean, can you imagine 2017 Trump allowing himself to be cucked like this?
And he loves Israel too. It's true. 2 seconds, just 2 seconds. 6 years ago, I was up here, and I said, this is our first Jewish president. It's true.
2017 Trump would smack the shit out of 2025 Trump, let's be honest. Now, all that being said, you'd think that most Americans would have learned their lesson by now, but you'd be wrong. There's a saying, if two people agree on everything, then one of them is lying. I didn't criticize Owens because I don't agree with her. I've disagreed with her plenty. And I don't expect her to be perfect because none of us are. And yeah, she's smart, but I've seen her arguments get destroyed plenty of times.
A two-family home where the mother stays at home are faring off better than the children who are being raised in an environment
where the women are
working,
working,
where both of the parents are
why
working
don't
and
you
away
stay
from the
home?
home. I do get to work from home.
No, but
that's the irony.
I mean,
That's
I've
why
watched your show. You talk about all the nannies you hire, and it's so hard to find a good nanny.
I never talked about all of the nannies I hire.
Yeah,
but
you have.
I spoke about how difficult it was to find a babysitter who knew how to cook a meal, and that's because
you don't need a babysitter. You're already. You could retire right
now. You have to let people respond to you when they're speaking.
You don't want to.
To respond to you when
you don't want to. You want to be working, which is great. Are you spending as much time with your children as you possibly can? Because that's the way to get the most fulfillment.
No, and that's what I'm trying to say. I am speaking to you
so
as
then stop. You travel all around the world.
Okay,
you do speeches, and I love that. I love how ambitious you are. That's a really great trait. And if you were truly said that, you would be more fulfilled. Now, one thing you do find is women, they don't want to stay at home when you pull them. They just want flexible working hours and flexible working conditions like you have. And I think we should all advocate for that. It's not one or the other. But when you sit here and you go, you'll be more fulfilled doing this, then spend all your time doing that. We would love for you to leave the public eye and go focus on what makes you fulfilled.
Okay.
However, none of that matters, okay? In my book, not agreeing or not being 100% correct 100% of the time aren't reasons to discount a person. As long as I think that they honestly believe what they're saying and that they're operating in an authentic way. But lack of trust, that's a deal breaker. I called Candace Owens out because she was dishonest. She demanded transparency in the Charlie Kirk case from TPUSA and the feds, but when it came to her, well, I don't know, I guess she had a different set of rules for herself. A classic case of do what I say, not what I do. And if you're okay with that, that's because you're not a follower, you're a worshiper. And your blind faith gives these clowns all the wiggle room they need for corruption. How can a person who claims to want so much transparency drop the ball in this fashion if they were really honest, if they were really authentic, if they were really about getting to the truth of the matter? And if they're holding everybody to these super high standards, then wouldn't they be the first to hold themselves to that same standard? The fact that she didn't speaks volumes to me. Volumes. Now, a lot of you may disagree, and you've disagreed very vociferously, shall I say, in the comments section. Oh, Nadia, what are you doing? Oh, Nadia, this is wrong. And, let me explain something to you guys, okay? Me pointing out that Candace Owens is being dishonest, me pointing out that she's speaking from both sides of her face, that she's not holding herself to the same standard that she's demanding from everyone else, that doesn't mean that I'm suddenly on the side of Erika Kirk. That's not what it means at all. This is the same argument that they made with, oh, if you're not Zionist, then you must be pro-Hamas. That's called a false dichotomy. A false dichotomy is when I'm giving you two options when in reality there are like a million options. But I'm saying, oh, if you don't agree with this, then you must agree with that. Not necessarily. Just because I'm calling Candace out doesn't mean that I'm supporting Erika Kirk. I'll call her out too. I'll call them all out. That's what I'm here for. That is the purpose of this channel. This channel isn't to cheerlead for anyone. I'm not going to cheerlead for anyone. I'm not going to sit here and tell you like, oh, that, we have to understand. No, I have zero tolerance, no understanding whatsoever. If these people say that they're going to do something and they don't, I will call them out on it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's okay because it's not. I had a viewer comment that, oh, it's Candace's platform and she doesn't owe you anything. This is the problem right here, that you guys don't hold anyone accountable. That's the problem. Do you see? Because you don't hold anyone accountable when they screw you over, that's why they keep doing it. Because why wouldn't they? You're just going to make an excuse for them. You're just going to say that somehow, it was because they're playing 5D chess or because, they're biding their time. And, you guys, stop. I did this with Trump. I think we all did this with Trump, right? The reason that we don't have good leadership is because why would anybody be good? There's no reason for it. They can say one thing and do another, and a lot of Americans will still make excuses for them and still be their fan. If you're still, you want to be on the Candace Owens, like, I don't know, whatever fan club, and you want to like make a statue to her, and you don't care that she's lying to you. You don't care that she's not living up to her own standard. Go, have at it. I had another commenter say, oh, Nadia, instead of criticizing her, why don't you do your own investigation? Why are you so dense? Think about what you're saying. Reread your own comment. Does that make any sense? Candace Owens is right there, close to all of this, close to the TPUSA people, close to Charlie Kirk, close to the behind the scenes. She has the resources. She has the money. And may I add, she took this on herself. No one told her, hey, investigate Charlie's death. Please, Candace, please, only you can do this. Nobody said that to her. She took it upon herself. So if you're going to take something upon yourself and you're going to take responsibility and you're going to tell us that you are demanding this transparency because the powers that be should be more transparent, then shouldn't you be the first one to show this transparency? Shouldn't you be leading by example? You guys are like, oh, she's fine. I don't feel any which way about it. Yeah, of course you don't. And she knows that. And the powers that be know that. That's why, quite possibly, I'm not saying it is this way. It could be this way. It could be any which way at this point because we don't know anything, right? It could be that Candace Owens is just a plant. She's just put there as, controlled opposition. She's pretty. She's intelligent. She's well-spoken. She's passionate. They're going to put her up there as a plant, and she's going to be the bad cop to Erika's good cop. Or Erika's going to be the bad cop to Candace's good cop. And they're going to play off each other like this. And it's all theater. And then you and me, we're going to watch this and say, oh my goodness, oh my gosh, what's happening? And, we're going to pick a team. We're going to pick TPUSA, Erika Kirk, or we're going to pick Candace Owens. No. The other option is to see this for what it is. And I'm not saying it's not entertaining. You guys want to watch it for entertainment value? Go right ahead. I don't blame you for that. Like, a lot of this social media stuff is entertainment. I get it. But that's not what this channel is about. This channel, I try to be entertaining, but it's not my number one, goal. My goal here is us together, that we can come to some type of truth, that we can analyze the situation together, see it for what it is, and figure out next steps, and figure out who's who and what's what and what needs to happen next, and how we can make that happen on a grassroots level, on a local level. What can we do? But how can you fix anything if you are unwilling to see that there's even a problem? What hope is there for this country if you're unwilling to let go of your idols and your, stop being a fan and just be an American and put this country and your fellow Americans first? Before any cult of personality, oh, Biden is a this and Trump is a that. Yeah, they all are. They both were. Obama, Clinton, all of them. And now we see, and this is one thing I'm so grateful for, even though this administration is a complete show and it's just like, I don't know, I feel like we were like in a runaway train with Biden. We were going downhill and Trump came along and just stepped on the pedal. What we are seeing with Trump and what I'm so grateful for this administration is the fact that there is no denying, no one on any side can deny anymore that they're all eating out of the same plate, that they're all beholden to the same people, that they've all sold us out, period. No matter who you vote for, that is just the State of the Union until you yourself are willing to hold people accountable. And if you're not willing or able to hold even Candace Owens accountable, Candace Owens, who is a media personality, she's not a politician. She's not a person that holds any real power. If you're unable or unwilling to hold her accountable, what hope do we have of you holding anyone accountable? Anyone in government? What hope do we have? Think about it. I learned my lesson. Once someone breaks my trust, I don't go back for seconds. Not anymore. But if you're into that, then this channel is probably not for you. So Who is this channel for? This channel is for anyone who wants an honest assessment and a broad perspective so that they're not flying blind and they're not under anyone's thumb. Who am I? A first-generation American of Cuban descent, a cradle Catholic, and a very proud U.S. Army veteran. I'm nonpartisan. The only side I'm on is the side of the American people. This isn't a club and we're not running a popularity contest here. We're after the truth, even if it hurts, because we're gonna need it if we're gonna have even a shred of a shadow of a prayer to get our country back. And I'd rather know who I'm dealing with from the jump instead of wasting time pretending that there's someone that they're not. And I hope you do too, because blindly agreeing with everything anyone says is naive, and only listening to those that agree with you is dangerous. I'm not a fan. I won't cheer for your heroes. I won't repeat their slogans or cover for them when they fuck up. I won't turn a blind eye. If someone makes a claim about a topic in the national conversation that I think matters, then I will examine it. I'll spot the discrepancies, the contradictions, and the lies, and I'll point them all out to you, no matter who they are, because there are no idols here. So if you're looking for the warm bubble of an echo chamber, if you're looking for a place to worship your totems, you're definitely in the wrong place. But everyone else, welcome to the community. And I'll see you on the next vid.